subtracting whole numbers. So to subtract, we're going to line up the place values, and we're going to work from the right to the left, right? So we're going to start with the ones place value. So example 1, Clyde recently had his blood work done while at the doctor's office months ago. His cholesterol was 253. Now that he's been on his new medication and exercising every day, he has returned to the doctor's office to see if this changes his cholesterol, which is now 237. So how much has Clyde's cholesterol dropped? So we're going to go ahead and take the 253 and subtract it 237 from it. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are starting right on the far right, and then we're going to move on to our tens, and then lastly we'll do our hundreds. So we're going to go 3 minus 7. Well, 3 is much smaller than 7, so we're going to need to borrow. And we go ahead and borrow from the left, the first one on the left. So this one's a 5. We're going to make this a 4. And then, as we're borrowing a whole 10 from it, right, because we went from 50 to 40. So we have a whole 10. So now we have 13, right? So we have 13 instead of 3. So 13 now minus 7 is 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. So we have 16. So that's how much his cholesterol has dropped. Let's go ahead and look at the next example. So example 2, we're going to solve for the following. So we have 6,038 minus 3,519. And we go ahead and subtract. We're going to start right again on the far right. So notice we have an 8 minus 9. So we can't do that. So we need to go ahead and borrow. We borrow from the first one right to the left. So we're going to borrow a whole 10. So that's now a 2. And then we have 18 minus 9. So that would just be then 9. So 18 minus 9 is 9. Then we have 2 minus 1. So that's a 1. 0 minus 5 can't be done, so we need to go ahead and borrow from the thousands place value. So when we borrow, right, we just take a whole 1 from it. So we have 6 minus 1, so that's now 5. And then we put a 10, or like a 1 in front of the 0, so that's a 10 now. So now we have 10, right, so we have like 10 100ths minus 5, so that would just be 5. 5 minus 3 is then 2. So we have 2,519 as our final answer. Now, if you were unsure if you did this right, you could go ahead and take these two numbers to make sure you get the total at the top. So let's go ahead and do that. 9 plus 9 is 18, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 5 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1, and then that would be a 6. So this checks out. And so this is a quick way to check your answers to see if you are getting to the right solution, right? So let's go ahead and look at the next example. Example 3. Dave's job has become more stressful over the last couple of years and has not been able to work out like he would like. His weight was 267, which prompted him to start to exercise again. After a year of exercising regularly, his weight is 229. How many pounds did he lose in the past year? So we have 267, and he went down to 229. So let's go ahead and subtract. We start right on the far right. 7 minus 9 can't be done, so we need to go ahead and borrow. So the 6 minus 1 becomes a 5. Now we have a whole 10 to add to the 7, so we have 17. Minus 9, so that would be 8. Then 5 minus 2 is 3. 2 minus 2 is just 0. So how many pounds did he lose? He lost 38 pounds.